Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. Welcome to 20 at 10, the Lighting Systems webinar series, where we explore groundbreaking designs and state-of-the-art technologies within the lighting industry. I'm Linda Carrillo, and I'm the Specification Sales Manager here at Lighting Systems, and we are all so excited to welcome multi-award-winning UK product designer Lee Broom. With Lee's highly original brand of luxury furniture and lighting designs, his work is recognized and retailed across the globe. Lee's designs are both unique yet familiar, as he takes classic styles and reinterprets them in new and contemporary ways with an unexpected edge. Taking an inspiration from his background in fashion design, he strives to embrace and explore new themes while keeping an overarching house style. Using the highest quality materials, combined with the latest technology, Lee Broom constantly evolves and innovates, resulting in his signature mix of classicism and modernity. We're so very fortunate here today to have Lee himself take us on an exclusive tour of his New York City penthouse to discuss the stunning Alchemist Collection and so much more. Please enter all questions you have in the chat, and we'll address those at the end of the presentation. And with that, I'm very, very happy to introduce to you Lee Broom. Take it away, Lee.
Hi, everybody at Lighting Systems. It's a pleasure to see you all and to all your partners and all your friends. I'm delighted to do this tour of the penthouse to show you my furniture, and particularly all the lighting collections that I've designed over the past 15 years. I've had my brand for a little over 16 years now. We are based in London. I'm a British designer. We have our showroom and head office there. We also have our factory in London where we assemble and we produce all of our pieces in our UL listed factory. And also we have our space here, the penthouse in Tribeca, New York. Now, before I take you on the tour, I just wanted to give you a very quick overview about me, because I know we don't have too much time, but essentially I wasn't trained in product design. I was originally an actor as a child from the age of 7 till I was 17. Then I won a fashion design competition because I was always into design, and I got to work with the legendary Vivienne Westwood. I then morphed into interior design. I set up a little practice, and in 2007, I set up Lee Broom doing product design. And I'll talk about some of those different mediums of influence, some of the products I've created in the collections over the past 15 years as we go through the penthouse. But this is the penthouse. It's also our showcase and our gallery here in New York. And we did have a showroom in Soho many years ago, but what I wanted to do was create an interiors environment with all of my products in, so people could really experience the brand and the products in their natural setting. Plus, I also get to stay here when I'm in town, so you are actually getting a glimpse into my home. It's a bit of an open house tour. So this is the living area, and one of the first pieces that I wanted to talk about in this space was some of the new pieces that I've created from our collection, Alchemist. It launched here in New York during Design Week. It's inspired by Paulo Coelho's book of the same name, which is a beautiful novel. I'm sure some of you have read it, and each of the pieces reference some of the characters or some of the stories within that book, and also tap into mythology and to folklore. And one of the first pieces I wanted to show you was King. This is inspired by a character in the book called the King of Salem, but also the idea of folklore around King Arthur. And I wanted to create a lighting piece that sort of tapped into a slightly medieval aesthetic, but also into brutalism. I'm a huge fan of brutalist sculpture, so I wanted to create a really sculptural centerpiece that looked just as good when it's switched on as when it's switched off. We produced this in our factory in London. Each of these aluminum leaves are folded by hand. We brush them by hand and then we anodize them. And each of them are connected individually by rivets to make up these large scale rings. And you'll see that I've disguised the LED because what I really wanted to do was to create a glow. I didn't want your eye to be looking at the actual light source. So you get these beautiful shadows. This is illuminated at the moment. It goes brighter, but when it's switched off and you have the sun bouncing off those leaves, it looks incredible. And you can see some other images of this on our Instagram page. This comes in two sizes. This is the 4 feet diameter, but we also do a 3 foot diameter piece. This piece here, just to the right of me, also from the new collection, is called Solstice. Now, this piece you wouldn't recognize immediately, but it's inspired by Stonehenge, the monument in the UK. And what I wanted to do was sort of give that emulation of the sun and the illuminated globe, and then to have these brass rectangular sections encasing it, which represent the monolithic stone. And just as the sun rotates around Stonehenge, this piece also rotates. So you're able to create your own configuration. And it's something that I love about some of our products is that playful quality that people change and adapt. Now this is here shown as a duo. We also do it as a trio. So 3 lights connecting, which you can rotate. You can also have it as a single pendant shown here in the brushed brass. And you'll see the actual connection here is just one brass sphere. What I want to do with as many of my products is eliminate the screws, eliminate the seams, and make them look as seamless as possible. You know, for me, it's always about the things that you can't see in the product rather than the things that you can in some cases that really elevate the piece, make them beautifully well made and luxury. So just to give you an idea on price point, our products range and vary. This piece is around $1,000 per unit list price for 1 single pendant. For 2, it's $2,000. For 3, it's $3,000. Now, we also go to a different price point. So, for instance, King that I showed you, that's $27,000 for that size. So all the products across the range from somewhere between that and Solstice and anywhere in between. The next piece I wanted to show you from the collection is just above the kitchen island unit, which is called Gemini. Inspired by the astrological sign and also alchemic workshops, I wanted to create a piece that was decorative, but almost architectural as well. It can be hung horizontally, vertically, forward, back. And in fact, again, look at our Instagram page, see some of our videos, you'll see clusters and formations of these all created together, which makes it a really dynamic piece. It's modernist, it's industrial, but it also has Art Deco tendencies, which is a period that I really love in design. It's brass, and you can see on this piece we have the 2 mini brushed brass canopies. We also have a canopy where you can have the driver inside. This is showing the driver remote, but the canopy has the driver inside housing it. We know how important that is, and that's the case with a lot of our products. I would like to now take you on a rest of the tour of the penthouse. So if you follow me, I'm going to take you through to the powder room. Very quickly, I just wanted to draw your attention to one of the first light fixtures that I designed, which is called the crystal bulb. And I wanted to show you this because it really was the piece that propelled us out of being known into the design industry and into the public consciousness. It became a real staple product for us, and we still sell it to this day. It's more of a classic piece. And also in this bathroom, we have a sign of the award that I won for this product, which was in 2015, which was presented by Her Majesty the Queen. And it's the highest accolade that you can get for any business in the UK. And we got to have a very lovely drinks reception in Buckingham Palace with all the royal family. Can't get much more British than that. Moving on into the hallway, this is our Mythos wall sconce, another piece from the new collection here. You will see that it has the illuminated globe balancing on this brushed brass ring, and this is also available in a blackened brass finish. The solstice that I showed you earlier, also we do that as a wall sconce. It's beautifully positioned on the wall. You can have it with this back plate to cover the 2-inch wide junction box, or you can have it without, and we can recommend a very slim junction box that is compliant that you can use for your contractors. Moving into the guest bedroom, there's a lot of products that some of you may know in this space. One of the key pieces we have in here is our carousel light. Very well-known light fixture for us. This is the extra large version. We also do 3 other sizes. This comes in 4 different finishes, so polished gold, polished chrome, gunmetal, and also shown here in the matte black. And it has these beautiful light fixtures which just pop out. All the LEDs are produced by us, which means that we're able to maintain the temperature and the technology throughout the years. This is a great lighting piece for commercial use. We've seen it used in lots of different applications. Also, very well-known fixture of ours is our mini crescent pendant light. Also do this as the large one, which is twice the size. And it's essentially a classic globe that's been shifted to reveal this brushed brass fascia. Shown here is a 3-piece chandelier with a matching canopy. You can have it as a 5-piece or you can have it as a single unit. And again, applications down stairwells, across island units, worktops. It's really, really versatile. We've seen it been used in lots of amazing projects all over the world. And of course, we have the mini table lamp version too. I'm going to take you through to another powder room. You don't have to travel far to use the bathroom in this. This is our fulcrum pendant, another really key popular product. It's almost related to the carousel because it has the same circumference, the same little bulb peeping out, but it also has this spherical metal ball which connects the 2 cylinders. You can have this as a single pendant, 3-piece, 5-piece, or in some cases we've done cascades and we've produced some custom canopies for people. So it's very much worth considering that. This is the study. Very important room because it's now where I design all of my collections. I design all my collections in the States. One of the reasons why is because I have a lot less disturbances here than I do in the head office in London. So it's decorated very similarly to my studio in London with lots of things that I've collected over the years. And the key light fixtures we have in here is our Vesper chandelier. Shown here is a quattro, which is 4 arms, and we also do it with 2 arms as a duo. Available in brushed gold, brushed silver. It's made from extruded aluminium, and essentially it is a sculpture piece. It's an art piece. You have these 2 rectangular sections just connecting in the corner, and they're just being kissed by this illuminated sphere. There is no way, even looking at it this close, how you can work out how it's all connected. And that's exactly what I wanted. I want people's imagination to run wild when they look at the products. We've done these in applications where we've had multiples in a large vaulted room, or we've actually connected 4 of these together to create one giant chandelier. So it's really impactful, really sculptural. You remember the Gemini, which I showed you in the kitchen, horizontal light fixture above the island unit? This is exactly the same light fixture, but hung vertically. And you see it has the aircraft cable going up into the large ceiling canopy, which houses the driver. Nice and wide rather than deep, which means it frames the product really beautifully. I always try and make sure that we create the canopies and the cables in the inception of the design and not as an afterthought. You're probably used to seeing a lot of lighting pieces where, you know, you have a beautiful fixture, but then you have a slightly underrated canopy. Just before we head upstairs, I wanted to show you the Pantheon ceiling light. This is hand cast from Jesmonite in our factory. It has this coffered ceiling detail, and it has a diffuser which contains 4 light bulbs which you can remove easily, and it just clicks back into position with heavy duty magnets. Look on our Instagram page, you'll see one of the first few images. We have a room where we have created multiples of these, almost like tiles, filling the ceiling, filling the walls, so that it becomes a ceiling and wall architectural installation and not just a single light fixture. So this room is really one of the places that we use the most, especially for events. This is the dining area, which is adjacent to the terrace, which we have some really phenomenal views of the World Trade Center. The key piece in this room is our Aurora chandelier. Now, this was created to sort of be a futuristic take on a classic 70s Murano glass chandelier. And what I wanted to do was, rather than have the glass with the illumination behind, I wanted every single element of glass to have illumination within. We produce this glass ourselves, and each of them contains one LED filament. And then this is reeded glass on the inside. So it gives the impression that there are multiple LEDs in here, but actually there's just one. And then the really beautiful thing about this is that all of these come out as individual light bulbs, which we produce ourselves. So very satisfying to do, very easy to do the upkeep of this chandelier. It comes in 5 different tiers. We have tier 5 at the top, which is the largest, and tier 4 below, but you can go 3, 2, 1. So the idea is that as designers, you can create your own chandeliers. You know, it's a super high-end piece, but everybody that has one has their own variation. So you put your own stamp on it, making it unique. And all the hardware is mirror polished stainless steel. The reason for that is that the reflection of the bulb goes through to the underside. So your eye is not focused on the hardware, it is focused on the bit that we want you all to see, which is the light bulb.
Dims with the neutron system.
This also dims with a neutron system as well. This piece, Orion, you may well recognize. It's one of our most well-known light fixtures that we've created since 2018, I believe it was. It's called Orion because it can be hung in many different constellations and configurations. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's just 2 fixtures. It's an illuminated tube with a metal sphere and a metal tube with an illuminated sphere. You can hang them vertically, horizontally, forward, back. We've seen multiples of these horizontally. We've seen them vertically down stairwells, 2 either side of a bed. We've seen huge chandeliers formed of these as well. Again, check the Instagram, all the images are on there. But it's a really versatile piece. It's shown here in polished gold, also available in polished gunmetal. We have, as with the Gemini, a mini ceiling canopy if you have the driver remote. We also do a deep canopy for if you want to house the driver, and we can do custom canopies for larger orders as well. The Aurora chandelier I showed you, which has a very beautiful bulb, which we make ourselves. We also have this version here, which is called Hail. And this is using the same light bulb, but instead it's a smaller pendant fitting. We have an aluminum central core, which is fluted, so the bulbs nestle inside. They can still be removed, but this is the starting point for this piece. Essentially, you can connect as many pieces of these together vertically as you want to create huge drops. We've done some drops beyond 20 feet before. If you look at our Instagram page from our Milan show, you'll see one there just over 20 feet where we had 12 of them in a circle. It becomes what was a very small light fixture into a huge installation of light. So if you have a stairwell, this is just the light fixture you want, because it's almost like a mesmerizing waterfall of light. And we will design this for you. If you have a specifier who's thinking like, you know, I want something like this, let us know. We can come up with a plan for you in different options. Just in the kitchenette area, we have the small version of the carousel, which I showed you downstairs, and that's in the chrome finish. Moving into the primary bedroom here, again, more spectacular views of the Empire State Building. We are spoilt.
Didn't go onto the terrace.
We have a few of our new pieces here, and also a piece from 2022, our Divine Inspiration Collection, which is called Chant. This piece here is made up of individual glass hand-blown bricks, and the bricks contain a circular light bulb. It's also available in frosted as well as clear. It's to emulate that idea of the kind of architecture from the late 70s and early 80s where the glass blocks were used. You can either have it as a 2-tier or 1-tier chandelier in either size. You can have it in the brushed gold, the brushed silver, and also these individual glass sections, you can have one positioned on the wall as a wall sconce, which is a really neat way of sort of combining sort of the showpiece with some additional kind of accessories around the room. The next piece I want to show you from our new collection. I'm very proud of this piece because it's a lot of technical details that sort of go into it. But essentially, it's called Mythos. It's inspired by the chains of Prometheus, hence having these two very monolithic links. These are cast out of brass. They are brushed blackened brass or bronze. We also do it in the classic brushed brass finish. And what I wanted to do is that I wanted to connect the two links and have this light sphere encapsulated in the center. But I didn't want to have any seams. You know, if you're connecting two links, you'd have to have corner welds or some sort of connection. So what I did was I took a chunk, an opening out of the top one, connected the two together. I put a lid on the top, and then I covered the opening with this leather strap, which is top stitched on each end. And then I stitched the electrical cable from the fitting into the leather strap all the way up to the top of the canopy. And then if you look down at the piece, you have all this negative space here. So your eye still can't work out how is the light source working? Where is the cable? And that's what I love about some of our products is that it makes people ask questions. You have one impression when you look at it, and then it starts to unveil itself. And this is one of my favorite pieces for that very reason. With this, you need to tell us exactly how high or what the length is of the strap, and we'll cut it for you in our factory. And an easier version of this is the single one. It's a similar piece, but rather than having the two links, it has just the one with the sphere balancing, and then it has the silk braided cable just coming out of the top. And again, you can have that as a single pendant, or you can also have it as a chandelier in this. One more room. It's a room that we use often. And this is the primary bathroom. And the two light fixtures that I wanted to show you here is the Eclipse pendant light. We also do this as a table lamp version, but shown here as a pendant in polished gold finish. We also do this in a polished chrome finish. And it's called Eclipse because I wanted to create a light that had a sense of illusion as you look around it. So you'll see this illuminated disc reflects into this mirror polished stainless steel. So you're getting the entire illumination, the circumference of this disc here, but in fact it's covered and it's mirrored. So it's sort of like a trickery of the eye. It's a really beautiful piece. We also do this as a 3-piece chandelier, which is really dynamic because it means that you get to see all the angles reflecting and refracting against each other at the same time. So that pretty much concludes the tour. I am more than happy to answer any of your questions. So please don't feel shy and let me know. But thank you so much.
Lee, thank you so much. My goodness, absolutely stunning collections and such incredible attention to detail, your cabling, your connection hardware. It's just absolutely minimal and beautiful. We do have questions for you. However, I wanted to let everybody in the audience know that it looks like maybe our chat might have not been working for some of you. So you can type any questions you have in the Q&A, and I'll go ahead and open that up and start getting some questions for Lee. All righty, let's see what we have here. Lee, can the single Mythos be ordered with the leather strap?
No, it can't. Really, because the whole leather strap was incorporated into the piece because of this restriction of having
the negative space, right?
Yeah, exactly. So originally the duo was going to be a cable. That was the original design. But as with lots of products, when you face these restrictions, sometimes you end up getting something even better as a result. But I wanted to still create one piece that just had the regular cable, which is still very beautiful. It's wrapped in the silk braiding. So, but yeah,
your cabling is your cabling is incredible. It looks like a rigid stem covered in a beautiful plated gold or something. It's quite beautiful. Are there other CCT options available, color temperatures available for the collections?
Yeah, so as standard, when we present everything, it's 2,700, but we get many requests where people, if they're doing a commercial space and they want to kind of match the temperature with the task lighting, prefer to have a 3,000. And in that case, we can often do that, depending on the number of fixtures, but especially the kind of E26 fixtures, not a problem. The integrated LEDs, also in some cases, not a problem, because as I say, we have the factory, we're doing the assembly ourselves. And of course, if somebody wanted it warmer, we would also look at that. But we would often make sure that, you know, the encasing and the shade changes the temperature of that color sometimes. So we'd want to make sure if you were going too warm that we wouldn't get any hints of that nasty green coming through. But again, because we look after that in-house, we'll be able to do that for you.
Excellent, thank you. All right, 2 more questions. What is the average lead time for your products? And I know that will vary, but maybe just give us a rough idea.
Yeah, it's a good question. So the majority of our collections are actually in stock and available straight away, so we can ship within a week. Some of the larger pieces, like the Aurora chandelier that I showed you in here, and the King, the first piece I showed you, that takes a little longer, but anything between 6 to 12 weeks, depending on the capability of the factory. As I say, the majority of our collections, in some cases, can be available for next day shipping.
All right. And I'm assuming the lamps that you make yourself are available. You probably carry those in stock. So for people to replace any broken things.
Absolutely. And in some cases where we have those larger fixtures with multiple lamps, we would send a few extra anyway, just in case there are any problems with transit or, you know, just to sort of cover all bases.
Excellent. That's great. All right. I'm going to check the chat really quickly to make sure I've gotten everybody's questions. What are the dimming protocols for your fixtures?
So I'm going to let Charles answer this question because he is the dimming expert. So
okay.
Okay, so the majority of the products are triac dimming protocol. The ones that we supply with drivers, we can do 0 to 10 volt dimming if that's required, or DALI. There are some projects in the US that use DALI. It's much more common in Europe, but we can provide DALI drivers as well. And if it's a mains a line voltage product, we recommend triac dimming. All of this penthouse here is with Lutron Homeworks. So it works very, very well with Lutron Homeworks. We test all our products with the Lutron Diva, Lutron Maestro as standard. And if there is a specific request that you've got, we can always look to see if we can just do that test for you before the product comes out. But all our products work with the vast majority of standard triac dimmers on the market, quality ones.
Perfect. That's great. The last question, where are they in stock? I might have missed that. Is there a showroom locally? So stocking, Lee, where are most of the fixtures stocked?
Right. So obviously we have our head office in London. We have the factory and all the products are in the warehouse there. We ship internationally. We ship to the States regularly. In fact, we did have a warehouse facility in New Jersey when we first started selling in the States, but it was actually quicker and more cost effective to send them from London. So that's how we do it now. And then, of course, we have partners all over the States, all over the world that stock represent our products as well. But the 2 main spaces where we present our products are here in New York and also in our showroom in London.
All right. And then just to answer Inga's question, I can reach out to you directly, Inga, and let you know the closest showrooms that might have some of Lee's pieces, and I'll take care of that today. I don't see any more questions, but Lee, we are just so grateful to have you presenting your collections, and thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks to our audience as well, and don't miss our next 20 at 10 presentation on December 11th with Cluse Design. Thanks again, Lee. Have a wonderful day, and thanks, Charles.
Thank you so much.
Take care, Lee.